Welcome to the official podcast of Joey's Song. You know, at Joey's Song, we have one mission: raise as much money as we can so that research into finding treatments and cures for epilepsy can get the funding it needs. We would love your support. If you can subscribe and leave a review of this podcast, it will help more than you could ever know. If you have a couple extra mouse clicks left in you, go to YouTube and our YouTube channel, Joey's Song, and subscribe. There. In less than 2 minutes, with a couple of mouse clicks, you will have made it easier for others to find us and help spread the word. Now, if you want to do a bit more, head over to joeysong.org, consider buying a show ticket or some merch, or even making a donation. Thanks. You know, we'll beat this disease, and together we'll have some fun doing it as well. Join us. All right, let's do this.
This is Scoreboards and Setlists. Our guy Mike from Joey's Song. Of course, I'm Ebo. Mike, this was kind of your brainchild.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a while. I like the whole intergenerational thing. And besides, most people that are sports fans are music fans too, right? And the crossover between Joey's Song and what you do, and just every time I've been on your show, it's clicked. So
we have a great time.
So I figured, let's see what comes of this.
Yeah, there was just, a couple of years ago, it was... I got an email. It was, hey, this Mike from Joey's Song. It's he wants to come in and talk about his organization and his charity and his concerts. And I'm like, of course,
sure,
open door policy. Bring him in. We kicked it off right away, man, and just started talking about everything music and concerts. And then you're a huge sports fans as well, so we'll get into all of that.
Yep.
But Mike, I got to say, man, this was a great idea from you. And what you got to know about me? Sometimes I just need a little nudging. I need a little nudging, and then I fall right in.
I understand completely. Yeah. You're like a musician. See, that's why we get. That's exactly what I have to do with my artists. Nudging is probably the nicest thing I do with some of them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you can shove if you want,
and sometimes it requires that too.
I just want somebody to shove.
That's Dave Perner. there you go. Soul Song. See, you got the Joey Song connection already in there. Dave's one of our artists.
I know. I love Joey Song. So, Mike, let's get into this quick.
Yep.
When it comes to scoreboards and set lists, when we were talking about, Joey's Song, and we'll get into what Joey's Song is and how it all came to be and how your Rolodex incredible. We were talking about that, and all of a sudden we're kicking it back when it comes to Packers, Badgers, not so much Brewers.
No. There's
and are you a Bucks fan?
Oh yeah, Bucks fan.
And Bucks.
Although, well, we'll get into that in a second too. So I grew up here. Lived in Chicago, went down there and lived for a while. I actually had Bulls season tickets during the Jordan years.
Oh.
So, that's pretty hard not to claim to. But now back in the Bucks, now that I'm back in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well,
but literally got our tickets the year he broke his foot, his second year. Had them all the way through till 2 years after he retired. So.
Now, my childhood, I was born in 88, so my childhood is Michael Jordan and the Bulls. And then I once wrote a letter to Vin Baker. I asked him, what's your middle name? What's it like to dunk? And what's your mom's name? He never responded to me. He never responded to me.
You thought you were trying to steal his identity, I think.
But I mean, I got into the Bucks big time. Vin Baker, I love me some Ray Allen. But I mean, I have a trading card book. It says my real name's Bo. It says Bo and then Bulls on it, and it's all Michael Jordan. This and that. I mean, how could you not?
It was amazing during COVID. My son Sam's a big basketball fan, and we watched The Last Dance probably 3 times.
Great,
all 10 episodes.
That's great.
And every time I'm pointing, going, and I was literally at the game where he switched hands on Sam Perkins, all that stuff. So, it's all emblazoned.
Now you watch the NBA. Well, it's kind of like music when we talk about. Now you watch the NBA, you're like, what happened? What happened to something that I love?
It's...
Take me back.
Think about the Jordan rules, right? I mean, the Pistons just annihilated him. Now you can't
even breathe on someone. You lay a little pinky on it, it's a foul.
And if you get anything above the neck, it's a flagrant 2. And
what happened to the bad boys, man?
I mean, think about what Riley and the Knicks and what the Pistons did to Mike, right? Just beat them. You know what?
Well, that's why they got to the gym more too. So
absolutely, and Tim Grover, who was his trainer, talks a little bit about that. How he went to baseball and came back and had to do different muscles. I mean, the dude took a beating, and it was a different time, but. Man, I hate to be the old head sitting there going, "You kids don't know," but
you're right though, man. You're totally right.
It was a glorious time, and then that team. I mean,
and we'll get into more of the sports of you in a second here. But for Joey's song, I mean, for this introductory segment or the first episode here, talking about Joey's song and the Freezy Man Festival that they have. And I know we've done this before, and I know it's near and dear to your heart, to mine as well. But what is Joey's song, and how did it all come to be?
Sure. So Joey's song is a concert series now. Really, what it's gotten down to, that raises money to fund research grants. It gets kind of convoluted. We fund the grants that we give to the really smart people in the lab coats that'll mix test tubes and find cures for epilepsy. My son Joe passed away in 2010, just shy of his 5th birthday. He suffered from a really rare form of epilepsy, and we as a family decided we got to do something. I was fortunate back in the 80s. My misspent youth here in Madison worked at a club called Headliners, and was pals with a guy named Butch Vig, who went on to do some things in the music business.
Just a couple.
And so when it was time to try to figure out a way to raise some money, that was my quickest path. And besides a sports guy, I'm a music guy as well. Yeah. So let's start doing this. And it's really, and I'm sure we'll get into it over the weeks, it's really been an evolution. It's not like I sat down and said, we will do a concert series and we'll get all these Grammy winners and Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. It's one of those things that's evolved. And usually those organic things are the stuff that are the best.
Yes.
So once a year, I get all these famous people to leave their warm homes in Silver Lake and L.A. and all those in the Canyon to come to Madison. Play some shows. We fill up the Sylvie and we raise a boatload of money, and hopefully the money gets to the right people so that someday people aren't dying and futures aren't lost.
Well, there's a couple things here that I have questions at, but first on epilepsy, I was not ignorant to it, but I wasn't informed. I guess I thought epilepsy was I didn't think it was that big of a deal or anything.
Nor did I until it came into my life, obviously as well. Epilepsy's, like a lot of disorders, is a spectrum disorder. Yeah. There's just as many causes as there are manifestations of it. And unfortunately, that means there's millions of different ways you treat it, too. It's not like, a cold where not that we've cured the cold. I guess that was my first factual error of the broadcast.
That'll happen from time to time, and that's okay.
But every 7 minutes. But so what epilepsy basically is, and now they're referring it to the epilepsies in plural because there's so many different, that's kind of the inside baseball version of it.
Sure.
But it can be a head injury, right? A lot of our soldiers and first responders develop epilepsy because you get knocked in the noggin a few times, and that'll do it. Tumors, growths in the brain, malformations. In my son's case, it was a chromosomal disorder.
Really?
There's sodium changes in the brain. Again, I hope no neurologist is listening because I'm going to make factual errors.
They can call in if they want to correct us.
Absolutely. We'll have to put up a specific line. So what a seizure is the brain goes haywire. Think of your computer getting the blue screen of death, right? That's what's happening. Two things try to happen at the same time that aren't supposed to, right? And when the brain isn't wired the way it's supposed to be because either of an injury, that growth, or a chromosomal thing, you get that conflict, and then it can manifest itself in a number of ways. The ways most people know is they call it a grand mal seizure. It's not that anymore. It's a seizure basically where somebody falls to the ground shaking. But it can also manifest itself. People go off staring. People start kind of speaking in tongues. There's all sorts of different ways, and that's all the body's way of saying something's not right here.
Sure.
We're clashing. I'm shutting down. Right. And that's what the epilepsies are. And so, like I said, it can affect at any point, right? Because tumors can grow at any time. And as we grow, that's why it's really prevalent in kids, because their brains are growing and their nervous system isn't quite ready to handle all the change. And so it's all that. So it's really funky. And in some cases, it can lead to death. Other cases, for the most part, it's really is an impact, especially in adulthood, because if you're prone to seizures, you're not driving a car.
No,
right?
Yeah.
And you're not holding, in a lot of cases, jobs that most of us take for granted. So it really impacts lives in so many ways. And that's why finding treatments is the first thing on my check. I mean, if somebody could come up with a cure for it, whatever that means, when you have a bunch of different causes, it's hard to have a single cure.
Yeah.
But stopping that devastation is really what we try to do at Joey Song. And I've got all these amazing people that come in and sing songs.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had Sarah Carlson on, who was on News 3, and she had to step away because of epilepsy.
She had a seizure on air.
Yeah, and then she was in here. Was she? I forget.
She came in with me.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
because she used to be the.
And now she's back on. I think she's now back on
the air.
Yeah.
The seizures have been under control for a while now, so she's back over at Channel 3. Yeah, no, Sarah went through it, and with a lot of people, Sarah went through what a lot of people go through, which is finding the right. It's hit and miss. You're throwing darts, right? Okay, these are what my seizures are like. All right, let's try this medicine. And the problem with neuromeds like that is you can't just stop and start.
It's different for everyone.
Well, and then you got to rev up.
You got to rev up to it, yeah.
And you can't, when you find out one doesn't work, you can't just start the next one, right? You can't be doing two things at once. So it's a long journey. And she went through that. She went through what a lot of people go through is, years and years of, okay, this doesn't work. And then think about it. You never know. Any second now you could.
Wild.
Yeah. So she went through it, and her being back on the air is quite a testament to, fighting through it. And if you fight the fight, you got a good chance of coming up.
And now what is great about Joey's Song and the Freezing Man Festival here is all the money raised goes to
everything. Well,
finding and helping and fighting epilepsy.
And that's the thing that I need to stress every time I talk about this is every artist that you're going to see on our website does it for free. Not one of them takes a penny. These are people that get...
And these are big-time names.
These are people that get hundreds of thousands of dollars to do a show. And I won't name names, but you guys can probably figure out who some of those are. These are people that do stadium tours.
Yeah.
And they come in for multiple days, right? So when we do a show, even if it's a multiple day show, people come in 2 and 3 days before the show because they got to rehearse because they're not doing their sets. They're doing these mashup supergroups. So these are people that give me a week. And
that's incredible. I know what's great about all these guys coming together too is how often do you get a super group of Temple of the Dog? You got Eddie Vedder and Chris Cornell, and you got some of these. I keep going to Chris Cornell, the Audio Slave is raising his machine. I keep going to these.
But
Chris Cornell's. But you got all these super groups. Like you never see that happen.
Right, and
does it even happen anymore in bands?
Barely.
For Joey's Song and the Sylvia, it does.
We do a lot of. I try to play up the FOMO part of it, right?
Yeah.
If you weren't there that night, you're never going to see that. It's not like a tour where, I'll go catch them in Kansas City the next night and I'll see the moment I missed, right? And that's the thing. And a little inside baseball, look around to make sure nobody's listening. Sometimes they've whipped up these concoctions hours before doors.
That's awesome. And that's how good of musicians they are.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on the quality of these people able to literally scat and bebop at the last minute.
I don't know why, but I got to bring up Mad Season 2. I got the grunge supergroup stuck in my head right now.
Well, anytime you bring in Butch, man, the godfather of grunge.
So you were kind enough, Mike, and thank you for this. You were on, and I got to interview. We both got to interview Butch Vig. I know that's nothing new to you, but to me, I was like, growing up for me,
right?
Nirvana holds such a, and this is for I think every. Yeah, someone coming of age.
Absolutely.
Nirvana holds a special place in the heart. And I drive by Smart Studios every day, go to East Washington and stuff. And so it was awesome to talk with Butch Vig, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
But you and Butch go back a long time, right?
So I was working at there's a club called Headliners on University Avenue. It's right next to where Church Key is now. They were owned by the same guy. And Headliners was about 1,000-seat club. This is back in the 80s, so we had a lot of the MTV bands on the way up, right? So we had REM, and we had U2, and we had Cougar and Joan Jett, and all these people on the way up, and with some of the 60s acts on the way down. But Butch was kicking around in a band called Spooner, and the entire Madison music community was sure Spooner was going to be the next big thing. It was more of that new wavy, but man, they did it really well. and they got signed, and it just never happened, as is the case with a lot of music stuff. But anyway, Spooner played Headliners all the time, so I got to know Butch and Duke, who was Doug at the time. I guess he still is, except when he's on stage. Erickson, who were part of Spooner, and we were all part of this Madison community, and a lot of them are still kind of kicking around. It was a really tight community.
That's really cool, man. So then that's how the Rolodex comes to be, man. And if people out there listening are younger, Rolodex is, if you go to your contact list on your phone, I guess that would be the Rolodex.
Yeah, it's all on paper and a spinning thing. Yeah, we still refer to it as that. Yeah, it's... I think that's the other thing, Ebo, about the community is now I hate to say this again because it'll make me seem like we're not working very hard. They all recommend each other now. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about some of the new folks that are coming in 2027. But now it's so-and-so. Oh, I know so-and-so. He'd love this. Call and, you know.
Well, that's how it grew, right? I mean,
that's exactly how it grew.
So, Joey, I mean, you guys got 2 nights. You're selling out both of them at the Sylvie. How did it first start? Like, what was the first one? And how long ago? It's over 10 years now.
Yeah. So, Joey Song actually started as CDs. We stared out making CDs.
Now, people know what that is.
If your kids at home, go to your Rolodex. Because that was, throw your mind back to 2010. That's when this all kind of started. And I was calling on people that I kind of knew, sort of knew, or would just send emails to info@artist.com.
And this is an idea you have.
Yeah, just tried to raise $500. There's an interview I did with the local paper back when this all started. I said, if I can raise $500 and write a check to the Epilepsy Foundation, it'll have been worth it. So
no kidding.
We would put together these, and I'd get respect. I mean, we had Sam Yannis from the Bodines and Roseanne Cash and Mike and Peter from REM, and lots of cool people donated. Problem is, nobody was buying darn CDs anymore.
I know the shift. Well, everybody was burning CDs,
and streaming
then the shift of streaming.
The world decided at that point they were never going to pay for music again, basically. But what we would do every time we would release a CD is we'd have a CD release party, which you did, and I'd get a couple of the artists that were on the CDs to come. And so Freddie Johnston was one of them, Rhett Miller from the old 97s, Michael McDermott, Sam Yannis. Lots of people would come and play our thing, and we would make more money off of the live events than we would off of it, which is the way the music industry has gone now as well.
Well, merchandise and the live
events. Yeah, we can do a 10-hour TED Talk on that.
We totally could.
Butch and Garbage came through town. They were doing a dual headline show with Flaming Lips at the Mallard Stadium.
Oh, yeah, Steve. I was
there too. And Freddie was living in Madison at the time. And Butch, the Freddie connection is Butch produced this Perfect World, which is where his big hits came off of, and it was his big record. So they've stayed close ever since. Freddie said, "Come on, let's go to the show." And we went backstage, and Butch and I, he went on to win Grammy Awards and MTV Moon Men, and I did not go on to do any of that stuff. So obviously, when we met, I knew who he was, and it took him a minute to kind of connect the dots because it had been 20 years. Yeah. And
was your hair the same or different?
Less gray and a lot shorter. And so we connected, and he said, well, what can I do to help? And I said, well, first, that was your first mistake, asking me what you can do to help. And he and Butch, he and Duke and Freddie and a few other people had this knock-around band called the Know-It-All Boyfriends, which is just them screwing around doing covers. I said, come and play a show. Long story short, that started, and then all of a sudden people would say, hey, I want to come and play, and now it's just expanded into this
unbelievable,
this massive Grammy winners.
CD release party, and now 2 nights at the Sylvie.
2 nights at the
Sylvie. Amazing concert venue.
$2 million later, man.
Jeez. Yeah, I just need $500 to make it all worth it, and now over $2 million, you said?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it truly is. And it's a glorious night. And if you ever need to understand a musician's heart,
go there.
Yeah, right. Because these people, I mean, you got people, I'll do hand claps, right? I mean, kind of stuff. These are people that are usually the center of the stage with 4 spotlights, and they're happy to do the doo-wah and the hand claps, on stuff. So,
have you ever brought out a triangle for someone to play?
Well, it's funny that you say that. We have a cowbell as kind of our
we got to have more cowbell, Mike.
Because the Know-It-All Boyfriends have recorded one song. It's kind of a Bachman-Turner overdrive ripoff, and they say that's what it is. And it's got cowbells. So every year we play that, everybody comes out with cowbells, and then we auction them off. So it ain't a triangle, but it's darn close.
I thought maybe guys did Don't Fear the Reaper or something with a cowbell.
Well, we've thought about doing that with Mississippi Queen by Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
All the great cowbells. Yeah, that's it. So
underappreciated instrument, the cowbell.
Especially for those of us with no musical talent.
We'll take a little break here in a second and then get to your sports stuff, Mike. But listen, I don't want to talk bad about my wife or anything, but there's people like her that I can't understand this. They can't clap a 4/4 beat.
Oh, man.
I don't.
They're clapping on the 1 and the 3.
Not even. They're clapping on
the 1 and the 4.
The 1.8 and the. I'm like, Jenny, do you hear the bass and the snare?
Yeah.
And it just doesn't click. It just doesn't click.
There are some folks.
Click Shack couldn't save me.
Couldn't save her at all. She's not a metronome, is what you're telling me.
Nope, but we love her anyways.
Indeed.
All right, we're going to take a little break here. We'll get back. Mike hanging out from Joey's song. We're going to be doing this. I love hanging out with Mike. Scoreboards and set lists. With the scoreboards and set lists, the scoreboard side of things.
Yes, sir.
You are a diehard Packer fan, as am I.
Yep.
My childhood was Brett Favre.
Yep.
Mine era.
Was Bart Starr,
yep.
Both as a player and then as a coach.
So you saw some lean years.
I saw the leanest years. I lived through Dan Devine and Lindy Infante and Forrest Gregg. Yes.
Now, when you're a boomer.
Yeah, yes.
Me, the millennial.
Yes.
When you hear me say my life is Brett Favre, well, there was a little Magic Man, but that was when I was really Brett Favre, then Aaron Rodgers. Do you look at me as kind of like you?
You have no idea.
You have no clue.
You have not earned it yet. You have not earned it yet. So,
and you're a Jordan Love guy.
I love Jordan Love.
Yep.
Absolutely all in on him. I think he's got all the tangibles and intangibles that you need to be a long-term successful quarterback.
Yeah. Are you a Matt LaFleur guy?
I think so. I don't.
Is it getting stale at all?
Well, yeah. See, that's a dynamic. You hear this. You got to get a new, fresh voice in the locker room and all that kind of stuff. I just believe with the way that I know he calls the plays, but when you go in with the 2 or 3 choices at it, it's still yes. You got to give Love the right 2 or 3 choices, but it's still that. It's that brain in number 10 that still does it. So I have a hard time putting too much, and maybe I don't give the head coach enough credit because first of all, I can't understand how a quarterback can do what they do.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Different kind of mind.
To play at a high level, both physically and mentally, to do that and make the reads. And you hear them talk about it after the fact. I'm talking great quarterbacks in general. Well, I saw the cornerback creeping up on that, so I knew it was a cover 2. And so the linebacker was in the and you then have to figure out where you're going to throw it. And
it's a lot of studying.
In 2.4 seconds or whatever they do.
Well, I saw you could walk up to Jordan Love and with Butch Vig and you could be like, hey, here's a composition. Here's some music we're going to play tonight. He'd be like, we're in the key of whatever.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the hell this means.
Right. That's exactly right. And I guess what we're saying is whenever you see somebody at an elite level on whatever their profession is, you're in awe because to get to an elite level at anything, you have to, getting back to epilepsy, something has to be wired differently in your brain to be able to do it. So I don't know if I'm a LaFleur guy. I don't have a problem with LaFleur. I have a terrible problem with all these first-round exits that we're doing and all that other stuff.
That Bears loss.
Oh.
That had me. I'm still kind of. I don't even want to talk about it. But I have to. It's like
eventually we're gonna. Yeah,
and it's the Bears. That's what drives me nuts.
Well, see that. So now to really.
Here's what I was going to tie it into with Chicago.
Well, my hatred. Well, we'll go to that in a second. My hatred of the Bears is twofold. First of all, I grew up hating them, obviously, because that's what you do. It's part of being born in the state.
My most loathed team.
Not even
Vikings,
close.
Lions, whatever.
See, I got friends.
Bears.
I got friends that hate.
I got friends that hate the Vikings so much. I'm like, huh? I'm like, that's the oldest, longest storied rivalry. Packers, Bears,
and the Vikings are a non-story.
To me, they're I don't care for them, but they don't get my goat like the Bears.
I'm exactly the same. So I went down. I graduated from UW-Madison with my undergrad. I went down to Chicago for my graduate degree. 85.
Oh, so you're
literally. So my first day I went the winter semester. I went to DePaul to get my MBA. Campus was downtown. Was the day of the Super Bowl parade, and I couldn't get to my first class on Tuesday because of that damn parade. And then I had to go through the whole year of all the...
And as a music brain, you're like the Super Bowl shuffle.
Yeah, that. I don't even want it. But like the third string tight end had a car dealership deal. So you were bombarded with this and then all the Ditka stuff. So take something that you already detest. Think about the food you hate the most and then have it be on the menu for a year.
Well, were you a Saturday Night Live? Are you a Saturday Night Live?
Oh, yeah.
So, did you like the Christopher, the Ditka? That was funny. That's parody.
And the Bears fans didn't even realize how stupid it made them look. So, no. Exactly. Chuck Swirsky. I do come from a mixed marriage. My wife is a Bears fan. Yeah. So
for decades you could walk around the house king of the castle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now this year though,
Yeah, we gotta.
Now she's like, honey, you gotta redo this. Honey, you gotta paint this.
All of a sudden, I'm spackling.
Yeah,
and,
well, you're painting and spackling, taping. Oh, man.
I got nothing to say, man. We've lost our superiority.
And then, Mike, I don't hold this against you.
Thank you, sir. I know what's coming.
Speaking of Chicago, I know. It pains me to say it because I like you so much. No, I'm just kidding. You are, though, a Chicago Cubs fan. And this is Get to Know Mike here from Joey's
Yeah,
son.
and diehard. I do Cubs fantasy camp. I do Cubs convention.
You do?
I have Cubs season tickets.
You are a diehard man. Well, at least you walk it like you talk it. Then.
Absolutely.
So for me, when it comes to the Bears, they're my most loathed team. And when it comes to the Cubs, though, they're right there, like right there.
And they should be. I understand.
And when Craig Counsell, when I knew he was leaving, but the Cubs were never on the list. And then when it was Chicago Cubs, like ancient Egypt, when the new pharaoh takes over and they strike out
everything. Yep.
I wanted that done to everything Craig Counsell. I still do. Like when Brett Favre went to be a Viking,
right?
I forgave Brett Favre when he was a Viking. He threw the interception against the Saints, and I said, "I forgive you, Brett Favre." Yeah. I don't think I'll ever forgive Craig Counsell. I don't think I ever will.
There's a lot of Brewers fans that feel
when Craig did that, I felt again just strike it off from the record, but. I understand. So my biggest pet peeve is like people my age or younger that are. I knew they were Brewers fans, but all of a sudden, when the Cubs win the World Series, they're like, "Oh, I've been a Cubs fan my whole life." I'm like, "You're a liar."
Yeah, right.
But here's the thing: I understand the older generation on why they are Cubs fans,
right?
Because your story.
So I grew up in Racine with my younger up until third grade before we moved up to Sun Prairie. Mm-hmm. So, and we've already clarified how old I am. So those formative years.
But how old do you feel?
I'll look at around 31. I feel
there
like Jim Taylor. Except when I need to get out of bed in the morning, but that's a whole other story. So in those formative years where you bond to your teams, ages 5 through 10, there were no Brewers. Mm-hmm. There were only the Seattle Pilots for 1 year before that. I lived in Racine. We got WGN. Come home from school every day and watch Jack Brickhouse call the Cubs games. Mm-hmm. And you have to remember, the Cubs were, although the '69 Cubs are legendary for their collapse, those were good teams. I mean, those 68 to 73, when you're forming, Kessinger, Santo, Beckert, Banks, Fergie, Jenkins, Randy Huntley, all these amazing players. And so I latched on. So there were no Brewers. And when the Brewers came along, and if we Wisconsin people are nothing, we're loyal, right?
Yep.
And that was my team. And so that's why I'm a Cubs fan. And I just kind of stuck with it. And the hardest part was I'm in college in the 80s. My 3 roommates are all Brewers fans, and Harvey's Wallbangers and Bambi's Bombers are coming around. And I got to stick to my guns.
You have to.
That was tough, man. That was tough.
Well, I get it, because when my stepdad, he's anti-Brewers. He's 75.
So
he's 75.
Who's his team?
Well, he's now a bandwagon hopper.
Oh,
so
God.
It could be the Yankees right now.
I got you.
But he said when the Brewers left, or the Braves left, when the Braves left, he's like, I'm turning my back on it all. Yeah. No, thank you. I'll cheer for anyone else who's playing if it ever happens again. And now he calls the Brewers the bloopers. So
how can you? I don't hate how can you hate the Brewers?
But there's a lot of sentiment there. I get older fellas that call in and they're just like, they left. I felt betrayed, and then you get. It's like MKL, you get psyoped by the WGN to be Cubs, which I get because it's TV then is not like how it is now.
Right.
Nothing was that accepted. You had the radio.
Right.
And some major market TV games.
Yep.
So I totally get it. I understand it.
And that's when those allegiances are formed.
Yeah.
So yes, diehard Cubs fan. It should be an interesting year every Friday when you.
Are you a Craig guy?
I haven't decided yet. The problem. So here's where I think Counsell may stub his toe. He made his bones on managing the bullpen. The Cubs don't invest in the bullpen. The Cubs retool their bullpen every year and always find 2 or 3 gems that go off to other teams. So this will be this will be what they're paying Counsell to do, and we'll see. Because as observing the Brewers, right? Isn't that always made between Hader and Williams and all these amazing
those all-star closers?
Yeah, and he was able to manage that well. So we'll see. Because otherwise. Cubs have a lot of offense, as they've proven the last couple nights in Tampa. You just roll that out We lost Cade Horton, our second place in the Rookie of the Year for the season in pitching. But managing starters is not, I don't think, is that big a deal. Managing the bullpen. So we'll see if Craig can do it.
The starters aren't like they used to be. I mean, you get a starter out there, go 8 innings, get the closer in. Maybe you get a Machismo start out there. I'm going a full game, man.
Not to be the name dropper, but I do Cubs fantasy camp, and Fergie Jenkins is one of our coaches at Cubs fantasy camp. I mean, Fergie had pitched 23 complete games in a 38 start season. Yeah. And the only reason he wouldn't finish the other games is if he was getting beat. It wasn't because 100 pitches and then
then your arm falls off.
And then the world closes. So yeah.
The one thing I've always wanted, if I was ever a professional pitcher, I would want to do the Doc Ellis approach.
Do a little acid.
Do a little acid.
Sure.
Not knowing I was starting, and all of a sudden I'm out there seeing Jimi Hendrix play the guitar as opposed to just an opposing guy with a bat.
The Hunter S. Thompson approach to pitching.
I would listen. I would try it. In a different life.
What have you got to lose, man?
Exactly.
Other than your sanity.
And then afterwards, you're probably reborn again. You feel connected to the universe.
And if not, you'll try it again.
Yeah.
Just
be sure in a good state of mind first.
I'm with it.
And your house is clean.
No shit.
Mike.
Yeah. I'll back away from that.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a friend told me something about that once.
Yeah.
So
I've read about it.
Mike, awesome time hanging with you. I don't want to brush over anything for the first one that we have here for Scoreboards and Set Lists. I guess where we started will end. Joey's song.
Yep.
If people, real quick, if you want to get in on Joey's song and how people can get involved, what it all means.
All the socials. We're Joey's Song. All one word on all the social media, joeysong.org on the website. We've got some stuff going on real quick. All of our artists, this is amazing. I'll try to do this really fast. All of our artists are designing custom T-shirts, one of a kind. They'll do their own design. We're only selling 100 of each. So right now we've got Kurt Smith from Tears for Fears, Vicky Peterson from the Bengals, and that Charlie Barons fella and they've designed shirts. You can get them on joeysong.org. My point on bringing that up is we're going to be releasing new ones. Every Butch is working on one. Jane Weedland's working on one. Everybody's doing it. So if you go and sign up for the socials or our mailing list, you'll see where it comes and you can get one of these shirts. But that's how you stay in touch with us. Everything is just Joey's Song, and you can find out about new concerts now.
Do we have a date set for? Are we waiting on that? The review?
We're all set. Sylvie's already booked January 8 and 9.
Beautiful. Maybe. Was that the same date last?
It's always that second week.
Okay, second week. Okay.
Yeah. So,
and we're always working on new guys coming too.
We got new guys. I'll drop some names of bands without the people. Tom Petty's band. Perhaps a Beastie Boy or two.
What?
Yeah. So we got some stuff working.
Dude.
I'm telling you.
Unbelievable.
I'm telling you.
Scoreboards and Set Lists. The first one, Mike.
Woo, we made it. Hey, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end of the podcast. A quick reminder, if you can give us a follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast provider and write a short review, it will really help us out. If you can head over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel over there, that's another big help. These simple acts make it easier for others to find us. And of course, head over to joeysong.org to join our community and stay up to date on all the news. Thanks, and we'll talk again real soon.
Learn more about Joey's Song by visiting joeysong.org. The theme music was composed by Sam Gamal, and Joey's Song is a federally registered 501c3 charity. Thanks for listening.